Okay, everybody, welcome to day number 9. Technically not day number 9, technically it's more like day number 8, but who's counting? It is day number 9, as far as I'm concerned, of the 10 days of Halloween. Give me a sound check, please, if somebody could. That would be great. Let me know that you can hear me. Everything looking good on my end. Hello, testing. Yep, looking good. Just wanted to verify. Um, and then let me jump over to Facebook to make sure that everything's looking good over there. Let's see here. Need to find the feed. And there it is. Wait. I don't see the feed. Give me a moment. No, I still don't see the feed. Are we live? I think we're live, but just in case. We're not live. What's happening? Feed. You are live, it says. Bear with me, everybody. I'm live to YouTube. Oh, there we go. I think I see myself now. Oh, go live. Okay, everybody. How's it going? I was not live. I am now. Whoops. Hello, everyone. Hello. I thought I was live for a moment there. I was talking to myself. Let me remove that banner because it doesn't apply anymore all this time, and I thought I was live, letting everybody know that I'd be on in a few minutes. My apologies for the delayed start time. As probably most of you that are going to be joining me today, I put all of this together kind of last minute, and it's a hectic time in life just in general, so things can get a little bit backed up. And so I had to push back the start time from 10 o'clock to 10:20 now, 10:22. But anyhow, we're going to give it a couple of minutes here as I'm kind of talking a bit to let people find the feed. Let me make sure they can find it on Facebook. Give me a second. There we go. All right. I see people are jumping on the feed. I thought I was already live. I thought I had hit the live button about almost 15 minutes ago just to let people find the feed. And I had a little ticker at the bottom saying, hey, I'll be on in just a few minutes. But apparently I had not hit the live button on Facebook. So that's a bummer because many of you are going, where is he? What's going on? Where'd he go? I don't see him anywhere. But welcome to day number 9 of the 10 days of Halloween. Technically, it's only day 8, but who's counting? Day number 9 has a much better ring to it. Hey, love you. Got a little fresh coffee right here brought to me courtesy of my wife. So, day number 9, technically day number 8. But we are going to be wrapping things up today. Later today, I have number 10 scheduled. Number 10 is a nice little, easy, cute painting that we're going to be finishing off the 10 days with. This is our little ghost host, the little guy, or mascot, if you will, the little guy that I've been posting on. Every time I posted over the past few weeks about the 10 days of Halloween, I had a little ghosty in the images, in the posts. So I decided I'd make a little mascot, paint our little mascot. Real simple, real easy little piece. This is going to go on this afternoon, 2 p.m. Pacific time. Just really quickly, for those of you that may not have seen the post around this is an 8x10 canvas, just like everything else I've been using during the series. I did tape off the edges to create that white border, and I used 3/4 inch painter's tape, okay? In case some of you may be interested, but we'll be doing this later today at 2 p.m. Okay, 2 p.m. Pacific. Hope you guys can join me. Of course, it is also being recorded, just like everything else is being recorded, and you can come back and paint with it whenever you would like. I repurposed a canvas, an older canvas that I had a painting on. I repainted over it, just making sure that it's all dry before we start to draw. Let's see who's on with me today. Rachel, how's it going? Yep. So we're going to be painting this pretty freaky, creepy funhouse. It's actually from the movie It. It's a funhouse kind of themed piece. Originally, I was going to do a funhouse theme not related not related to Pennywise or It. I was thinking I was going to do maybe a bunch of like a scenery with a few different clowns in it, creepy clowns inside of a fun house. Because I started kind of doing research around it, I ran across it and I was going, oh, It. And of course, I'd already considered doing one on Pennywise, just Pennywise, like the complete drawing of Pennywise and painting. But in the process, I was like, okay, I don't want to make it too complex. I know this is already kind of complex. This is kind of complex, but it wouldn't have been as complex. It wouldn't be as complex as drawing a complete Pennywise piece and then painting it. So creepy, yes, I love creepy, as I've already mentioned. But for those of you that don't like creepy too much, you can tone it down. I know the clown looks pretty scary, but you could tone that down a bit or a lot, make him more of a happy clown, etc. What's happening, Robin? Let me say hello to a few people here. Hi, Nicole. Thank you so much for the sound check. Robin says, hello, can't wait to see how my clown turns out. I can't paint tonight. We're going to a Halloween party. Yep, I'm sure lots of people are going to be out this weekend. This is Halloween weekend, so probably won't have too many people joining us today, but we'll see. Rachel, and who else is on? Who else do we got? Anne-Marie, how's it going? Welcome back, Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie's been joining us for a lot of these sessions, so that's fantastic. And then, folks, we're going to get right into it. We're going to draw. We're going to start with the drawing part of it pretty fast. I'm going to be using a regular number 2 pencil for the drawing part of it. Okay. Hi, Leilani. How's it going? Let me scroll down real quick. I'm kind of back in the comments, backed up a bit. So let's see. What's happening, Emma and Cynthia? The new adaptations are my favorite scary movies. Awesome, Leilani. So I like scary movies quite a bit. I find that most scary movies don't have really good endings. Usually they have really nice build-up, but also the ending kind of lets me down, I think, because it's hard to get me creeped out. I really don't get freaked out with scary movies. I just like them. I like the genre. I always have. But definitely love the theme. I love Pennywise is pretty cool. I know it creeps out a lot of people. Clowns aren't a lot of people's favorite things. It's kind of funny because I didn't realize how many people have an aversion just to regular clowns even. Rachel says, I think I have a clown figure like this picture at the entrance to the amusement parks in Melbourne and Sydney, Australia. Yep, lots of fun houses have similar stuff. What's happening, Tristan? How are you? Thank you for joining in today. Let's see. What else, folks? I'm just scrolling down really quickly. Oh, okay. You only did one, Anne-Marie? Okay. No worries. Hopefully you get a chance to do some others if you're interested. So let's take a look at our creepy clown over here. We're going to draw the whole thing first. Okay, we're going to draw the entire piece before we do any painting. So we have a little bit of drawing to do, so we're going to get right into it. I don't want to be doing creating today for more than 2 hours. I've got the 2 p.m. session later today, so I want to be prepped for that also. But we got a creepy clown. Let's take a look. So he's basically the entrance to a fun house, the Pennywise fun house. Got the big old mouth, his cheeks. I'll probably adjust that cheek a little bit. I noticed after I was done that this cheek is a little higher up than this one. I like this one better. I'm going to fix this so it looks more like this one. Big old mouth, the teeth, pretty creepy teeth. We probably won't be drawing in the teeth until after I paint the teeth nor the gums. That red-black background is a really nice backdrop for the yellow, orange, and white combinations that I did on the teeth. So we'll be drawing Pennywise without the gums or the teeth. Okay, just an FYI. So we can paint in that background and then use that backdrop again for the layer for those teeth. Makes those teeth look really cool. So we're going to draw everything out. This is technically his collar on his outfit when he's wearing his clown outfit with the red or orange little balls, right? The little buttons, the little ball things on. So that collar, that's what these are. But they could be the walls of the funhouse, right? So you can change that up however you want. Anything on this piece, just like with everything that you do with me, you can change it up however you want. Maybe you have a different version of Pennywise that you'd like to create, maybe something more similar to the actual Pennywise in the movies, but entirely up to you. So this little guy down here, what is his name? Georgie. I'm trying to remember. I think his name is Georgie. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyone that's a Pennywise fan. I believe his name is Georgie. That's the little guy in the movie. Then he's probably the trickiest part of the entire thing. Let me give you guys a close up. Now I do not have a stencil created for this. Okay, no stencil for this, and I have no stencil for the ghosty. Hopefully by now you're willing to give it a shot freehand. If there's enough of a demand for a stencil for the whole piece, if you guys are sitting there going, please, I need a stencil, I will create one, but I don't know if I can create one by the end of today. We've got a busy schedule. We'll be going visiting a pumpkin patch later today. Elisa's first pumpkin patch, my little girl's first pumpkin patch. So anyhow, this is plenty dry. If you guys are ready to go, give me some thumbs up. Let me know that you're ready to go, and let's do this. Oh, brushes, basic brushes. Colors, I'm just going to run them through here. I've got some red and some orange mixed in for his hair. So red and orange. This is a mixture of red and black in his mouth. Red around the lips, red for the nose, yellow and orange for the eyes. Of course, we got white. The background is actually a combination of black and orange. It's not just straight black. It's black and orange. The outlines are done in black. So you're going to need some red and orange. You're going to need some red and black. You're going to need the teeth are yellow, orange, and white mixture. Then this is just pink, white, and red if you don't have pink. Yellow, orange, and orange for the eyes. White and black. Of course, Georgie is just, his little jacket is yellow. I did add a little touches of brown to give some really slight indications of an outline where his arms meet his body. And then his pants are actually dark blue and his boots are black. Okay? Blue pants, black boots. All right, let's do this. My left shoulder sunset picture. This one, Rachel? Are we talking about the safari one? Because we did that one in Finding Your Brushstroke. Yeah, it's the safari one we did in Finding Your Brushstroke. Maybe you can see I don't know if that's one you're talking about. Let me know. But that's available in the group. So if you haven't done it, I think you've done it. But if you haven't, it's in there. Just go, you just have to go back a little. Oh, the house. Oh, the haunted house. That one. Or this one. Not sure. We did this one 3 days of Halloween last year with the Painting with Jesse page. It's also in the Finding Your Brushstroke group. And if you're talking about this one or that one, maybe that one. Yeah, they're all available in the house. Yeah, okay. They're all available in, I think it's this one you're talking about. They're all available in Finding Your Brushstroke. But all right, let's take a look at what we're going to be drawing today. Let's start. Let's actually start sketching. Let me throw my glasses on. So we're going to start with the top of Pennywise's head, the entrance to our fun house. Okay, and it's basically a nice little dome shape. It's about halfway across my canvas. Again, this is an 8 by 10 inch canvas. I'm just going to start with a nice little semi-dome shape. Okay, kind of like this. And I know I've got his hair I'm going to be adding in here, so let me bring this down a bit. Actually, I went a little too high on that dome. That's why we start, we use light pencil lines. So we're going to come a little lower here. And let's do that little dome shape one more time. Okay. And you want Pennywise about equal distance on both sides of the canvas. I'm actually too far over to the right, so I made an adjustment and brought him over a little bit. Okay, let me erase some of these extra lines. Don't need those. And I'm shaking the table. I'm probably shaking the laptop, which is what I'm using to record my face where you see me. Okay, how far over am I? A little too far, I think, just a bit. We can adjust that we can adjust that later. Okay, so a nice little dome. Don't worry about the hair just yet. We're going to go right into the arches for his eyes. Okay, so he has a little arch for his eyelid, this upper eyelid. Kind of does this, curls around. Okay, other side, same thing. I know, creepy, huh? Creepy. Oh, let me adjust the screen. Make sure that you guys get a better view of Pennywise. Okay, slightly at an angle. I'm going to try to keep it as straight as possible. And can we see the, yep, we can see it. The ghost busting up. I think probably because I'm sitting there going, which one? All right, cheeks. Let's get right into those cheeks now. Big old cheek right here. Big cheek. Cheekbone comes out. He's laughing. He's grinning. Big old mouth comes down like this. I can already see I'm going to have to make a few adjustments. Bring him over a little bit more maybe. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to bring this guy over a bit more. Give me a second. It's too far over. We want about the same distance on each side. So, oh wow. Got to make a big adjustment. Bring the eye in just a little bit more. Quite a bit more. And that means this has to come over a bit and up. Remember, you don't want to get too far into a drawing or a painting and then realize you've got to make a big adjustment. So this cheek's going to come out a little further. And then back down. We're not looking for exact, but we are looking for pretty close. And I'm still too far over. All right, let me just make a quick big adjustment. So his head's going to be about here. See, folks, we all have to erase when we're drawing. Erasing is part of it. Making adjustments is part of it. Not the end of the world. There's his eye, and then his cheek. Okay, make a few little adjustments to my lines. All of this gets painted over, so I'm not worried about all the extra lines and smudges. I'm using fairly dark paint for most of it, except for the white parts around his face. So we're good. It's okay. The smudges aren't going to make a big deal. And I'm still a little too far over to the right, but that's all right. It's not too much of a difference, maybe about half an inch. It doesn't have to be perfectly centered. So these out here are the edges of the mouth, right? All of this in here. Got the eyes. And these, of course, are the tops of those eyelids. Okay. Thank you, Rose. Yep. Lots of people are busy today doing their Halloween stuff. Okay. Now that we've got the general shape of his face, we're going to add in that hair. We can go ahead and go like this. We got a bunch of hair that comes out like this. Kind of does this. Wild hair. Okay, we don't need the exact outline, just close. Okay. Bring this in just a little bit more. Hey, Leilani, so you're dressing up as Pennywise. Was that picture from yesterday or what was that? You posted a picture. That was pretty cool. Cool makeup. I don't know if you can share it here to the page, but you should share it in here. Okay, so we got the hair, we got the shape of the face. We can go ahead and put in the collar now. Collar comes across. Maybe a little higher. We'll go a little higher. Okay. All right, where do we go next? We can go pretty much anywhere. Oh, we need a little tuft of hair at the top of his head. You don't see the very top edge, but it does kind of curl over. Okay, let me get you guys a close-up. Here's what we got. Hair comes up like this. Now it's kind of light. Over here, kind of comes up like that. Got the little tuft of hair on top of his head. Got the hair on the side. Got his cheekbone. Got his big cheekbone right here. Then got the tops of the outlines of his collar. Again, everything's really rough. It's just a rough sketch. Nothing fancy. Nothing crazy. We'll make some adjustments later on. Okay, but mainly erasing some of my lines. Okay, so then what's next? What can we do next? We can start right in here. So the cheekbone goes across under his eye. Okay, both sides do the same thing. Go like that. Then we got his nose. Nose is rounded on the edges. Goes like that. Okay. There's a close-up of that nose. It's funny. I saw a couple of people in the comments going, yeah, in the comments saying, yeah, I'm not too much into clowns, but maybe I can make this and give it to somebody, give it away to somebody. That was too funny. Made me chuckle. Some of you may not even be able to paint something like this. You have such an aversion to clowns. Okay, I'm just making an adjustment, bringing the eyebrow a little higher up. It's more like the eyebrow, not the eyelid. Okay, and then I'm just going to add the outline for the eye. The eye starts about here. This right here, I'm talking about this. Okay, and then we can complete the eyelid. The eyebrow goes like this. So same thing over here. We can start. Actually, we're going to bring this down. Well, actually, we're stopping there. It's the eye right here, front of the eye. This right in here goes up, curls over the top, goes back down, connects to the eyebrow, and then also curves down into the face, into the cheekbone. Look at that. Ah, bummer. Okay, I think you used to be able to share pictures. They probably did away with that because so I'm sure people are sharing inappropriate pictures in some of the lives. Anyway, cool makeup. Okay, the pupil. Big part of his partial circle. Partial circle over here. And then you could do the iris if you want. We're going to paint over that later, but if it makes it so it's easier to see what you've got, you can put in the iris. Wait, the pupil, the iris. Which one? What is that now? Dilated pupils are the center. Is this is the iris? I'm confused now. Is this the iris and that's the pupil? Somebody, let me know. I'm trying to remember. Pupil, dilated pupil. That's the pupil. That's the iris. I do believe. I think there's somebody in my membership group that used to work for an eye doctor or something like that. Oh, my microphone isn't connected. Bummer. This should sound better now. Wow. Just lots going on, everybody. I'm trying to remember all the little nuances of all of this. Okay, that should be better. My apologies. When I plugged in the microphone, for some reason that muted my audio. Hello, testing. Yep, we're back. So basically, I realized that I didn't have my mic in place, so I put it in, and that somehow, for what's probably automatic, muted the sound. But we're back. You didn't miss much. I was just talking about the opening on the mouth. I think that's all. That's what you missed. So I made the opening, so it's fairly large. Nice large opening. Okay. And it feels like I need to make it even a little larger. Anyhow, we'll fix that with the paint if we need to. All right. So what's left? We got the nose. Oh, the red. We can go ahead and add in the red, like this red outline. This in here. We can add that now. I'll start right over here, the red part, the red lines that go up into the eyes. So from this corner, it's going to go like this, up under the eyelid, come back down. I'll do the same thing on this side, goes up under the eyelid. Okay. And then we're going to come across the top of the mouth. And we just outline the mouth on the way down. Just like that. Again, we're not adding in the gums or the teeth until after we do some painting. Is the sound back? The sound should be back, right? Okay, good. Anne-Marie says, can you hear you now? Michelle, did it come back? Penny, let me know. Okay, Rachel says I can hear you now. Let me know, folks. I just want to make sure. Give me thumbs up if you can hear me, give me some thumbs up. Probably the fastest way for things to. I think I lost some people when the sound went out. It's okay. Thumbs up. I see thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Okay, good. It means the sound is back. Again, all I did was switch out. It's not that I switched it out. I hadn't put my microphone in place, and I put it in, and that automatically muted it. So apologies about that. So what we are going to do is we're going to go ahead and draw Georgie. Okay. So let's take a look at Georgie. Pretty basic shapes. The head is an ovalish shape, oval-ish. The body is basically a rectangle with a couple of smaller rectangles on the edges, on the sides. The legs are long rectangles, and then you just add the little feet at the bottom. Okay. I think the biggest problem for some of you might be if you're doing this freehand, for those of you that are newer to drawing, is the proportion part of it. Try not to stress too much. I'm going to start with the rectangle. Now, I don't care too much where his feet land as long as I can see the bottom of his feet. He can be a little higher up. He can be a little low. If you make Georgie too high, let's say as you're drawing this, you realize that Georgie's feet are too high up and you have a lot of ground underneath, a lot of empty space. You can put a floor down there if you want, a little mound perhaps, almost like he's up on a little bit of a pathway and he's kind of come up at the top of it, and this is where this fun house is. On mine, I have empty space down there. I don't have anything. Originally, I was going to put a red floor, but then I decided, we'll just let Georgie kind of be floating almost in this kind of emptiness of the opening of the mouth. But there's ways to work around it if you don't. If I wanted to, I could put a floor there. Okay. So the only thing you want to worry about is you don't cut off his feet, right? If you don't make him so low to the ground that you cut off his feet. So you could give yourself just some leeway. Start with those. Let's start with the feet, with the legs. Little rectangle. Actually, I'm going to go a little over to the left. I'm two in the middle right now. I'm just going to draw a couple of small rectangles for those legs. Not worried about the boots or the feet just yet. Just the general shape of each leg. So this is what I've got right now. Basically two little rectangles, and they're not perfectly shaped rectangles. They don't need to be their feet. Okay. From there, I'm going to draw the big rectangle for his coat, his little yellow coat. Start with the bottom, slight curved line instead of a straight line. And we're going to go up, maybe about an inch on mine. We get to the shoulders. Left shoulder kind of comes up a bit. They both just kind of angle up a little bit. But again, generally you got a rectangular shape. Okay, so it's rough. We don't need to we're not worried about the little arms just yet. Let's go into his head. He's wearing a hooded jacket, right? A jacket with a hood. So circular or oval shape, a slight point at the top of the head. When we paint around Georgie with that red-black color, we're going to be able to make adjustments. Okay, so there's his head. Again, nice hood. Don't need a lot of detail on Georgie. His little arms are next, and I mentioned they were rectangles, but of course not quite rectangles. We have a little line that comes out, and I'll describe this when I bring it up for a little closer view. Little line that comes down. Little line comes down like this. So it comes out this way at a slight angle, and then it goes in at a slight angle. You're not going to see much of those lines when we paint it. And the inside line there is going to be nice and subtle. Okay, now the other side. I'm going to bring out his shoulder just a bit more. Goes down. And then tucks back into his coat. Okay, so brought his shoulder out a bit. Brought down his little arm. And then connects back to his body. We got to give Georgie some boots. Let's give Georgie some boots. So, again, I'll give you a little close-up in a moment. So the boot, top of the left boot, comes out a little bit like that. And then it tapers into the bottom of his foot. And then he's got you see a little tiny bit of his shoe, or the toe part of his boot. A little tiny bit. Little triangle. That's just a little triangle with a point over there, the base over here. The other side. Same thing. We just start with the boot. The top of the boot comes out a little further than his pant leg edge. Okay, and further out on this side. Same as over here. Then we go down into the ankle. Okay, go down into that ankle. And now, little triangle. Once again in the other direction. Don't need to add a lot of detail to this. Don't get too caught up in overthinking. They're just little geometric shapes for the most part. And there's little Georgie. Okay. Balloon time. Balloon up on top. Don't go too high. You can always leave the balloon for later. Maybe after you do the teeth. I know he has big old teeth. And the teeth, if you drew the mouth a little too low, the teeth can be closer to the balloon, right? No big deal. So I'm going to go ahead and draw the balloon about here. If I need to make adjustments on where the teeth are a little smaller, I will do that. I like the big old teeth. Makes Pennywise look creepier, but we're starting nice little curved top, like we're going to start a circle. So kind of like a half circle, and then we taper in the bottom edge. We don't need a string. We're not going to add a string or anything like that. Okay. Just like that. Okay, how's everybody doing? Let me know in those comments. I'm just going to take and erase all these extra lines of here at the top. In the white areas where I'm going to be painting white, I especially want to make sure I don't have a lot of smudges or a lot of pencil lines, because the white, white is a little translucent, and you could I'm going to be able to see some of those pencil lines. If I had a bunch of pencil lines up in here in these darker areas, even in the mouth area, all that's going to get covered up with the dark paint. The black mixed into those colors is going to completely cover any pencil lines that I may have. Okay, so isn't it though, Penny? Creepy cool is right. See, what's everybody saying? Leilani says, I think I'll curve the bottom lip a bit. Okay. I was going to paint this on my pumpkin, but my pumpkin was outside and very cold. It is very cold still, and paint probably won't stick. Okay. Just have a few people telling me the sound is all good. Okay. Are we good to start painting, everybody? Give me some thumbs up. We don't have a lot of people on the feed right now. I'm sure it's a busy weekend for most. And then, of course, this is all, especially these last two sessions. The last 4 sessions have been very last minute. Next year, I hope to be a little better, not a little better organized, quite a bit better organized. And I don't know that I'll be doing a 10 days of Halloween, but I'll be doing something similar for next year. Thank you very much to all of you that have been hanging out and joining in on these sessions, whether you've been joining in on the recorded or the lives. I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have. Rachel says a bit behind. Okay, Rachel. All good. You guys all know we can pause video. I know Rachel does. I'm just in general, just bringing it up to, if anybody, needs to pause or back up, that kind of thing, you can do that. I'm also broadcasting this over to YouTube in case anybody is joining in on YouTube. Okay. Sounds good, Penny. Sounds good. All right. I'm going to start with the white part on Pennywise. White tends to be the most difficult. In this case, the colors that I've got here, the white's going to be the most difficult to get good coverage on. So I'll start with that. Just putting out some white on my fun tropical paper plate here. By now, I think everybody on here probably knows the general brushes that I've been using. But just to give you a quick rundown, where my paper towels, I'm going to grab some of those. Okay. So 1 inch, I was going to use a 1 inch flat, but I probably will not use anything that big. I'll be using this 1/2 inch flat brush. I will be using a number 2 flat bright little brush for detail work. I can do eyes and some of the smaller stuff with this, the white inside those eyes, the red outlining of the mouth with something like this. Okay, nothing fancy. None of my brushes today are anything fancy, or probably want to have a couple of other smaller flats also. This is a number 4 flat bright, and then I got a this is number 3 flat shader. Okay, just a couple of small brushes, and if you need kind of a reference. These are all suggested brushes, and then you're going to need a little pointy brush or 2 for the small details. Little tiny liner brushes. Let me grab one from my other cup. I got a mess over here, folks. Not going to lie, I got quite a mess. Trying to stay up with all this stuff has been nutty. But anyway, nice little liner brush for some of the small details. So that's pretty much it. Okay. If you have something like these, you're in good shape. I'm going to take some of that white. Now, I'm just going to scoop this on nice and thick. Not going to be mixing a lot of water in here. This paint that I'm using, this white paint from Artist Loft, this titanium white, it's just a student grade quality paint, but it is really thick, nice and heavy body. When I use this paint on Pennywise, it gives him a really nice texture. So I want to maintain that texture, and I'm not watering it down, except for where I have to. And I don't, if I need to water it down for whatever reason, I will. But for the most part, just going to maintain this nice thick paint, and we're going to come down. What time is it, Rachel, where you are out in the UK? I think you're 8 hours ahead, something like that, if I remember correctly. And then right in here on his forehead, we're going to bring some of this down. Again, those eyebrows can get covered up now. I don't mind. I can add those in later. Pretty simple matter. I wanted to include them in the drawing because often it's easier to see the whole thing, to take an overall view of the drawing. I know for some of you might go, well, kind of extra work. It is, but it's minor. It's nothing crazy. I'm throwing adding more white paint in here. In a bit, I'll switch over to a smaller brush to get into some of the little small sections of this white area. So all my white parts, getting some nice thick white paint. If you have softer bodied paint, don't worry about it. It's okay. I just happen to have this really thick white full body paint, heavy body paint. So switching over to my little number 2, just to get in here. Now this part up here is going to be more of a gray white, a little bit of a gray on those eyebrows. Actually, they're not eyebrows. They're thick eyelids. Maybe more like, what do we want to call those? Furrows. I suppose they could also be eyebrows, or you could put eyebrows on them. So some white, the white part of his eyes. Now here I'm not covering up all my pencil lines. Here it's a little more crucial that I can see them, so I don't have to redraw the whole thing. If I cover them up a little bit like I did there on the eye, that's okay. It's not going to destroy anything, or I know that there's going to be an outline in there. Let's see. All right. We're going to take a little touch of black now. Smidge of black, just to make a little bit of gray. And go back to my 1/2 inch flat that I was using. Give me a sec, folks. Let me make an adjustment here to my supplies. So a little bit of black. Just need a nice light gray, mixing up the color for his collar. And then what I'm going to do is this, right in here. I'm doing this in long streaks. In case you can see your brush lines, angling it slightly downwards as you move down. So I start like this across. So I start to move down, I angle it a little bit. Nothing crucial, but I got these little angled lines in there, and those brush strokes will kind of help. What's happening, Sue? Hello, hello, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Okay, where are we going next? I'm going to go ahead and add in the orange and the red to the hair in just a moment. Okay. Once we do that, from there, I'll probably move in and add the red and black in here. Oh, you know what? Since I just added that gray, I'm going to take my number 2 brush, make a little bit of a darker gray now. just a bit darker. And it could be a little uneven here where it's not fully mixed, just throw in some, mix those colors together a bit, and right up in here on the brow. So do we have any horror movie fans in here? I'm assuming some of you that are in here painting this have to be horror fans. See, I know you guys probably heard me talking about this the other day. I like the scary part of Halloween. I like the creepy part of Halloween. I like it all, but the scarier stuff is kind of, the fun thing. I like haunted houses. The creepy side of Halloween is really awesome. All right. What's next? Let's put some color in that hair. So the hair is a mixture of red and orange, as I've mentioned. So I'm going to take my plate. Okay, this guy here. Things are going to get pretty messy on my plate here as I go along. I'm going to take a little bit of this orange and I'm going to add a little orange there like that, right on top of that watermelon. And then I need to take and add a bit of red. Just put them right next to each other. Whether it's more red or more orange is entirely up to you. I know Pennywise, it sometimes looks like he has really fiery red hair in some scenes, and then other scenes he looks more like he's got more an orangish color. And I'm still using the same brush, my 1/2 inch flat. I'm just going to rinse it out a little. I'm going to mix these colors together. Okay, I'm going to start with a more orangish color. This is the main part of the hair, especially as it goes out towards the edges. Later, we'll add a little bit more of a darker red base down in here. Okay, but I'm starting with this. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned, this piece glows under black light. When I first started talking about the series, the 10 Days of Halloween, I was considering doing some night sessions. After all the technical issues that I've been having here and there, I decided I better not try to, oops, I grabbed a lot of red. That's okay. No big deal. I decided I better not attempt any night sessions from my backyard for now until I test things out. And I didn't get a chance to test anything. So spooky night sessions will have to be put on hold for now. But I love the idea. And then I'm just brushing upwards at an angle, pulling my paint up in the angle in the direction of his hair. Same thing on the other side. Already starting to look pretty cool. His crazy orange hair is really neat and makes things stand out. Gonna grab a little bit more red just to kind of match things. Just throwing a little bit down in here. All right. I love horror, says Leilani. I love Halloween. It's my favorite. Me too. Favorite time of year. I'm switching over to my number 3 flat here. Just gonna grab a bit of the same color, and I'm gonna add a bit of color in here. Now, this is going to require some layering. We're not done. This isn't intense enough yet. So I will come back and add more color in here. It's so funny. What I was noticing mostly with the painting sessions is that the creepier I got with these, the less likes they got. Which said a lot. It was pretty funny. I was sitting there joking, saying, "Let's see how many likes this one's going to get. Let me see how many likes this one's going to get," because it gives me a gauge of what people like, right? So I think really creepy is a little less popular than not as creepy, which is to be expected, right? I guess. Okay. Oh, I know. I'm gonna use my small brush, the one that I was just using, to make little touches along the edges, like over here. I need to fix this. And then let's see. In here too, and I'm coming far enough. Okay. There is that. So next place we're going to go to is actually we're going to go to the mouth first. Okay. Again, that's a mixture of red and black for the inside of the mouth, but it's more red than it is black. Okay, so you want to be careful when you mix that because you can go too black really quickly. Take your time with the mixture. Just going to go back to my 1/2 inch flat. That's what I'm going to start with. This guy right here. And I'm going to grab another plate just to make it easier for you to see what I've got going on. Got a bunch of red here. I'm going to scoop up some of it. Actually, all of it. Grabbed a bit of white by accident. That's okay. Then I've got some black. Don't need a lot of black. Black, will overpower this color really quickly. So I'm going to mix me a nice, deep, becomes like a really deep crimson color. Starts to look a little bit like maybe dried blood or color of liver. How's that? Okay, now I'm going to remember that acrylic paint dries darker than when it first goes on wet. So be careful you don't go too dark. Okay? I mean, you could have a really dark entrance and it'll still work, especially in contrast to Georgie, but his boots won't show up as much, especially if you're going to make them black. Unless you're going to make them a different color, his boots may not show up. So just adding a bit more red in here to bring up the color a bit. Maybe a little more. And I don't want to blend this fully. I just want to make sure it's kind of, I want to leave some of this streakiness in there. And here we go. Making his mouth a little bit larger, a little bit wider, and I'm covering up the pencil lines for the red edge, but I can fix that later. The red edge of his, right, the red outline of his lips. On the right side, I brought it out a bit more, the mouth. And just like with everything else on this piece, I'm gonna have to come back and add a second layer, at least a second layer over the top of all of that. I'm gonna switch over to my number 2, this little guy here, to get him nice and close in our tight, nice and tight around the balloon and around Georgie's body. Just painting around his little body nice and carefully. I accidentally painted over the tip of his right shoe, but that's okay. It's black, so I can fix that with the paint later. So again, all I did was get a nice little tight edge around Georgie's body. And the balloon, gotta fix that up a bit. And then kind of the same thing with the balloon. I could fix it later if I get too close to my edges. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. Take a bit of red with the same brush. Okay. Just throwing some red in there. And again, we're going to treat this with another layer of paint later. Michelle Hampton says, I love the creepy options. It probably makes me a bad parent, but I dress as Pennywise every year and really get into character. As soon as you said it probably makes me a bad parent. Made me chuckle, even though I didn't know what you were going to say. Every year, really get into character. It's fun to act out of character behind a mask. That is funny, Michelle. So we could use you. We haven't done one since COVID, but I think we did it for about 8 years. We do a haunted house, or we used to anyway. I don't know if we'll ever get back to it, but we did a haunted house at my brother and my sister-in-law's house for 8 years. Really elaborate, crazy haunted house. And yeah, creepy. Creepy was the order of the night every time we did one. But sounds like you'd be perfect. Perfect to have you in there. Rachel says our clocks change tonight. They go back 1 hour. So it would be the equivalent of 18:03 hours now if it was tomorrow. So that would be like 6 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. 6 p.m.? If I'm reading military time correctly. 19:03 hours. Okay, 7:03. Okay, gotcha. I think is what it is. What's happening, Alice? Sounds good. Oh, yeah, Rachel, I think I've already given a couple of close-ups, but I'll do it again just in case. I know you asked this a little while ago, so here you go. Here's the little, let me do both. I'll show you the drawing and then the original. A couple of minor differences, of course, as there usually is, but I can make little adjustments with my paint. I think the hoodie or the hood on the new one isn't quite as, it's a little more rounded on the original than on the new one. So I'll just make that little adjustment. Even though it's not a super important one, it still works without or with the pointy hood. So just a little tiny bit. Okay. And I started accidentally removing a bit of paint there on the edge. So it's okay. We're going to come back and layer this, like I said. Okay. Since I've got a little bit of red on hand, I'm just going to grab some of this and quickly go to the nose before we start painting in that background. Okay, did I see Nicole on here earlier? Nicole, are you painting this? Nicole Zonke? I know I saw Robin and Rachel, of course, and Rose jumped on for a moment. I think Martha also said she was going to paint it, Martha Hicks. Okay, there we go. I'm just naming out a few of the people from my membership. See who's on here. Penny, of course. Yeah, Nicole. There's Nicole. I don't know if you're on here still, but okay, she did. Okay, got it. I understand. Okay, so background, black and red, a darker red. I'm going to leave this, by the time I'm done with the background, this should be plenty dry. So I can go back in with this and add a second layer. So I'm going to have a little area over to the side where I'm going to mix more black. It's a higher concentration of black, and orange. Sorry, not red and black. I apologize. Black and orange. I was about to pour out black. I was about to pour out orange. Okay, so there's some orange on the plate. Let's get some black on here. Hey, Michelle, have you done any other of the 10 days of Halloween series, or is this your first one? So there's a little bit of black, a little bit of orange. My brush that I was just using, I don't need to clean it up. This mixture won't make a difference if I got some of the paint in here, and if it gets in here, it's no big deal. So again, really deep, dark. It's gonna be more of an off black. It looks like black if you're just looking at it by itself. The color in the background, it could be a little more orange, and it could be other colors too. They don't have to be like this, right? Your colors can be different than mine. Here we go. Background. Now Pennywise is going to start popping a bit. Sounds great, Rachel. You are very welcome. Can't wait to see your masterpiece. I'm just getting nice and close to my edges, but I'm not using this big brush to get it not tight. I'll use a smaller brush in a moment. So get in those little small areas. This series has been a lot of fun for me. I have really enjoyed it. As I mentioned earlier, we'll see what happens next year, but if all goes well, I'll be planning this out well in advance so that I probably have all of the sessions done and posted and everything long before Halloween even gets close. The dates, all that good stuff. Now I don't know that I'll do a 10-day of Halloween because I envision that I'll have been posting and painting with the painting with Jesse Page all along the whole year, here and there. At least once a month is the plan. This time around, wasn't able to do that, so I kind of decided to play a little catch up and do it all in this Halloween series. But who knows? It's been fun. It's been fun. If I can do it again, I will. And but ideally, I'd have everything all set up and planned out so that people can get a chance to see the schedule early and plan around the sessions that they want to participate in. But it has been fun. All right. There's my dark background. What's happening, Marjorie? Sounds good. Definitely. Oh, cool, Michelle. Okay. Cool. Very nice. Has anyone that's in here, and probably some of the people that are in my membership may have, has anyone so far done all 8 of the previous ones? Now I can ask you which one your favorite has been so far. Okay, there's my background. I'm going to go back to the mouth, and then I'm going to jump back to that background one more time. But you know what I can also do in the meantime? I can outline my red part around the mouth. Now that I can kind of gauge and see that I like the opening. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm good. So back to my number 2 brush. I'm gonna scoop up some red and okay, I'm going to go ahead and add, I think we can do it now. I'm going to add a little red streak up here that runs through the eyelid, or we'll call it an eyelid for now. I'm using the skinny part of my brush. Creepy is the order of the day. Gotcha, Anne-Marie. Okay, cool. Anyone else? Anne-Marie says she can't pick just yet. Gotcha, Michelle. All good. Okay, so back to the mouth. Now this is all nice and dry. I can go in there and add that second layer. Darken things up, make them look creepier. Okay, I'm actually going to switch brushes here. I'm going to use, this is like a number 4 flat brick. Okay, nice long bristles. Go back to my original red and black mixture in here. And we've got this. This will darken things up nicely. I'm not sure what that is. What is that? Sounds like the ice maker in our fridge. I have a fridge here next to me, but there's no ice maker in it. It's a ghost. It's Halloween. It's a poltergeist. All right. Working around the balloon again. If the balloon gets too dark, we can always add a bit of white to brighten it up a bit. Okay, if there's not enough contrast between your background color and your balloon, you can always add a little bit of white. You could also add a bit of neon if you have it. Neon red. It looks more like a neon pink. Then the top isn't too much of a concern. We're going to paint over that to make our gums and our teeth here in a little bit. We'll start that here not too long from now. Small brush now to come in and take care of the little tiny details in here. All right. Okay, where are we going next? We're going to go back to the hair. Okay, we're going to go right back into that hair. And then the black background, the dark background isn't dried yet. So we need to give that a little time to dry. Back to the orange and the red. Okay, I'm just going to streak this through. Okay, other side. Going to speed up the pace a bit. I'm planning on starting the number 10 at 2 p.m. Pacific time. I mean, it might have started a little bit later than that, but I'm trying to stick to that timeline. So, got a pumpkin patch to go enjoy later. And we got a barking dog in the background. So this new color that I'm adding, this new layer, has a bit more red in it. It wasn't intentional, but it turned out that way, and that's all right. Not everything has to be super controlled. If it works, it works. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, same brush, is I'm just going to grab just orange now. Okay, just the orange color. And here on the edges, bring it inwards or downwards. And with some streaks, creating some lighter area and making it a little streaky. Not everything has to be planned out. That's more what I was meaning to say. You can try to plan everything out, but it's okay if things don't quite work out exactly like that. Okay, now I'm going to take just red. Okay, just red, and still using this little flat brush. I'm just gonna, don't need a lot of this. And a bit more orange on this side, bringing it in a little tighter. Okay, and then can't forget his little coif on top. Tuft of hair. A little red down at the base. There we go. Poltergeist is a classic, says Leilani. Yep. All right, Penny. All right. Yeah, this one is definitely going to be creeping people out. So background still drying a bit before I can go back in and do a second layer. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw out my teeth, my gums and the teeth. I actually am going to take my blow dryer. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to take my blow dryer to all of this. I guess since I'm doing blow dryer, I can blow dry the background too. But by the time I'm done with the teeth, this would be dry anyway. Blow dryer. All right. I'm going to use to paint in the teeth. I'm going to use my white chalk pencil. If I can see where I moved it to, there it is. Okay, white chalk pencil. We're going to start with the gums first. So the gums. I'll start right in the middle here. You know what? Let's just start with the teeth. I'm going to make the gums a little bit smaller. A little bit, yeah. Start with the big middle two teeth. Come down. Bring it close to the balloon. I have to. Okay, something like that for that. That's that one there. The one on the other side, and it comes up a little higher. Two big old kind of buck teeth in the front. Okay, the other tooth goes up. Does that. All right, over here. One, two, three, four. 1, 2. And then you can see the little edge. If you don't know if you can see the edge of the gum, like right there, all of the teeth would be gums, right? So once you've drawn the teeth, those gums are in place. I mentioned that we're going to start with the gums. It didn't make any sense. So we just do the teeth in, and then the gum. We do the teeth, and the gums kind of take shape naturally after that. So we're going to need a little bit of pink and a little bit of red. A little bit of white. Sorry. If you don't have pink, you're going to need some red and some white. So a little bit of red. That's too much. Don't need that much, but we'll put some there. White. Let me grab my white. We're going to paint in some pink gums. Okay, I've got my white. Got my red. Let's see. I'm going to grab my number 3. This is my number 3 flat. Okay, a little small brush. Rinse it out a little bit. Here we go. Just a pinkish color. And I'm bringing up my gum line just a little bit higher. My red outline is kind of thick, so I can bring the pink up a bit more. I want more of his gums showing. Then I'm going to use this big brush, well, big in relation to the size, to the area that I'm painting in. I'm going to use this to fill in as much as I can, and then I'll switch over to a smaller brush. Okay, I'm going to throw in a bit more red, just for a little variation. And I'll do it again. I don't know which one's been my favorite yet. I think probably the witch and the crow piece has probably been my favorite. This is pretty cool. I like this a lot. This is definitely up there. But the crow piece, actually, even the spider is really cool too, because the spider it's kind of subtle. It doesn't impact you until you realize that the thing in the web is a human. So it's like a psychologically traumatizing maybe when you realize, whoa, wow, I'm about to lose my other camera. Give me a second, everybody. I gotta. Ooh, before this happens, don't want this to happen here. Give me a second. Oh boy. Give me 1 second while I make a quick adjustment. I'm glad I noticed this. Otherwise, I was about to lose my camera here. I need to run inside and grab my longer charger. So give me just a moment. Oh wow, that was close. 5%. Give me a sec. I'm gonna go run inside and grab my longer quick charger. I'll be right back. Wow, that was dangerous. Still at 5%. Okay. All right. Sorry, folks. I know moving things around here. I was at 6%. So that's a good sign. Things were moving up. Wow, that was close. I lost. What was it? A few days ago, I lost power on my phone. I need to have a dedicated charger over here. I had one, and then I broke it. I think we're good, though. I think we're good. I'm going to have to keep monitoring that, make sure it doesn't drop below 6. All right. We're good. We're in business. We're still in business. Okay. So let's continue. That was close. Glad I looked over at my screen because I saw that it had darkened. Whenever it goes into power saving mode. So, all right. Let's paint in those teeth. A little bit of yellow and a little bit of white. It's a yellow, white, and orange. Okay, so mainly yellow. I'm going to take and add a little bit of orange to that. I'm still going to stick with my, let's see, number 2. Number 2, this little guy right here. Okay, so yellow, bit of orange, okay, and then we got a little bit of white. Bit more white. So what's going to happen with this? That base of that dark red is going to come through this, and kind of come through this mixture. And make the teeth look a little more dull. If I was to paint this mixture over a white background, it wouldn't look as, it look almost, it makes them look a little extra cruddy. So I'm not going all the way to the gums. I'm going to have a black outline around the teeth. So, but that kind of helps. I can already see where that outline's going to be, and it makes it look pretty cool. Leaving that reddish outline already makes things look pretty neat. All right. Moving along, I'll have to come back and do a second layer on top of that, but I'm going to take some yellow and a little bit of orange now, just yellow and orange. So like this, a little smidge of the orange. I'm going to grab this and I'm going to paint the iris. Grab just a bit more orange now, just a little smidge of orange. And blend it in. Okay. Things are looking good. And take a little bit of yellow, just yellow. Same little brush, just a bit of yellow. And we're going to paint in Georgie's little jacket. His little yellow raincoat. Since I'm here, we're going to grab a bit of red, just the red, and add some color to that balloon. And to the nose. All right. Okay. We're getting there, everybody. We're getting there. I think what we're going to do next is go through and do some outlining. I know we still got that background, but we'll do some outlining first in black to make all these features stand out, and then we'll go to the background. That was definitely a close call. I mean, it would have taken me like 10 minutes to recover from that. You guys would have seen a blank screen over on this side. I shudder to think about it. All right, everyone. Black, a little bit of water, small liner brush, or small zero round, small zero little zero liner brush, a little detail brush of pretty much any size, zero or smaller. 000 would be better. Just gonna take some black. So I'm gonna take my water, my brush, dip it into some water, bring it over. Mix it in really well with the black. And we're gonna go through and start doing some outline. Now it is gonna start to really stand out. And I'll start right up in here. So my wife is not a fan of creepy. When I showed her this, she goes, "Why?" Oh man. She goes, "Ew, why?" Okay, I'm gonna flip this up like this to make it easier to get over to this eye. We watched one scary movie together, and that was a few years back when we were dating. Annabelle. Let's see. The eyebrows. She did not have a good time. Let's outline those eyes. That's funny, Leilani. He fell asleep. Pennywise is coming together nicely. Okay, I'm going to outline. Let's see. I'm going to outline the red around the lips and the mouth. I'm a fan, but like I said, they've got to be really good. Most of the times, the endings disappoint me. It's like people can't get creative enough. But still, I enjoy a lot of the scary stuff. Okay. Even though I'm going to come back and do a second layer over the teeth, I'm going to go ahead and outline them now. Now, when I outline stuff, it doesn't have to have a complete outline over every part of what I'm outlining. Sometimes, if I'm going along outlining and I leave part of it without an outline, the viewer's eyes will fill that in for me. So just a little thing to keep in mind. Also, the outline does not have to be the same width throughout. It can vary a little bit. All right. Hold on, let me go up a little bit. But she didn't dump you. That's right, Robin. She did not. It's so funny because she confessed to me. She said the only reason I went is because because we were first dating, really wanted to see this, and so I decided to go with you. But I was not happy. It was, and I remember she had to close her eyes a few times. Next time I invited her to a scary movie, she was like, "No, thank you." All right, over on this side. His hairline, right here under this. I'm actually going to come up do a little outline up there too. And then let's see. So as I'm outlining the hair, I can do this. I can bring in I can bring some of these little lines in to break things up a little. So I'm going to add a few of these here in a bit. I'm just going to bring a few of these little outlines out further. I'll give you a close-up of what I'm doing here in a second so it makes sense. I normally wouldn't do this in this order, but I just realized that I wanted to do that, and so I will explain. And then let's see. Okay, so what I did here, and hopefully you can see it, I brought my outline out a little bit, making some of these little tiny pointy sections where I'm going to bring some of the orange and red and fill that in. Same thing up on top. Just kind of came out a little bit. I'll fill that in. And I'll show you what I mean here in just a second. Okay. Yeah, that's it, Michelle. That's it. I find that a lot of the movies start off really well, build up nicely, but then the end just, I think what happens is that trying to have a really good ending that kind of like makes you go, oh, cool. Especially after having seen so many scary movies, it kind of becomes a little cliche. They all become cliche because there's only so many different types of endings, I guess, scary movies could have. So it's easy to guess what's going to happen, and that kind of makes it, the predictability part of it kind of ruins it. So I'm taking some red and some orange and just filling in where I brought my outlines further out. But plenty of really good movies start off. Plenty of scary movies start off really well, and I'm going, okay, this is getting good. And then all of a sudden, towards the end, they start to fizzle out. All right. Oh, the outlines on the collar. Can't forget those. Let's see. Darla says, went to a friend's Halloween party last night, and this was the entrance to his house with a boardwalk going through the clown's mouth. He did a whole carnival. Let me go back up. Carnival theme outside and inside. That is so cool, Darla. That sounds pretty awesome. Okay, Leilani, no worries. Just don't forget to share your painting when you're all done, okay? I'd love to see it. All right, continuing with the black outlining right here on the collar. What I often will watch scary movies for, since I usually end up being a little disappointed, is some of the creepy scenes. Some of the scenes, the scenery can be really, really cool sometimes. And so I'll watch scary movies a lot of times for that, even if I don't necessarily think the movie's going to be that great. They do some really cool stuff with some of the scenes, and that's pretty cool. All right, just taking some black now. I'm going to paint in the boots. There was a scene in, oops, I went too wide on that one. There was a scene in, I believe it was Annabelle. I think it was Annabelle, where the girl the main girl goes down into the basement of that facility. And when she's freaked out, she gets into the elevator, or she's running up the stairs to go back up. And that creepy black blue demon, or whatever that thing was like a black demon that was chasing her up the stairs, but it was done in a really cool way where she happens to be at the top of the stairs, and she looks down, and he's down there looking up at her on the way up. Just he kind of stops and he looks up at her, and you see those, in all that darkness, you see his white teeth, white sharp teeth. That was really cool. Just the way he was positioned in that kind of dark. I was like, oh, that's creepy looking. Little things like that, I'm like, okay. I find that I'll watch movies, scary movies, more for that kind of stuff. Okay, I gotta fix his boots. I'm sitting here talking a little too much. I gotta concentrate. So I'm gonna wipe this off down here. I went a little overboard on the black paint. So I'm gonna wipe this off, redo his boots, and then we'll do all that again. But I'm going to take some blue now, a little bit of blue, to paint in his pants. Might be a little bit of blue mixed with black to make them look nice and dark. Okay, so a little bit of blue, a little bit of black. A little more blue. It's a little too dark, I think. We'll see right now. Just a little bit of blue for his pant leg. And there goes that. There goes the barking doggy in the distance. You know what, Leilani? I don't know. I don't. I'm trying to think. There's some of the classics. You know, a lot of the classic scary movies, like the movie with. Oh my gosh, the movie about that girl that was possessed. I think this movie's from way back in the 70s or something. What was that movie called with the girl that becomes possessed? I'll think of the name. It'll come to me in a bit. But movies like Paranormal Activity, I thought was really good. I haven't gone back and watched it. But Paranormal Activity, really good one. As far as like a really scary, more recent movie, the first one of the not Helter Skelter. What's it called? The one with the demon in the cornfield, the crow. He was like a scarecrow. Not Helter Skelter. Jeepers Creepers. I thought that one was pretty good. Not my favorite, but they're up there. I don't know that I have a favorite. I just have a whole bunch of ones that I kind of enjoy. And I can't think of what my favorite is. Annabelle was pretty good. I think Annabelle was pretty good. Do you have a favorite? The Exorcist. That's the one. I couldn't think of the name. But yeah, I thought that was pretty good. Not necessarily my favorite, but pretty good. Again, the horror genre, there's only so many different ways you can end a movie, and so I find that a lot of them just repeat, right? They just kind of rehash what they've seen in other movies. But all right, we're gonna go and do the background now. Sorry, folks, I'm a little distracted here. I just need to turn on my little girl's breathing monitoring thing, the nanny thing that monitors her when she's asleep. Okay. Background, orange and black. I still got some right here. I'm gonna take my my half inch flat. I'm gonna do this. Here we go. So as I fill this in, again, this is an orange and black mixture from, still have some left over from earlier, so I don't need to remix anymore. I'll use the big brush to come in and my wife says she won't watch any of that stuff. It just creeps her out for the whole night, for the whole day, whatever. And so she, especially at nighttime, she can't go to sleep. I get a good chuckle out of that. I think I enjoy watching scary movies more with people that really get scared, because it makes me bust up, right? I think it's part of the fun. Being in my brother and sister-in-law's haunted house, I would be inside of it, right? We'd be inside, obviously scaring people, and that just, to me, is the funniest thing. Seeing some people losing their minds, not literally, but freaking out about something, is just, part of the fun. Yeah, Darla, pretty. We like to decorate. It is, again, it's just my favorite holiday, but I especially enjoy dressing up and going out and going to parties and stuff. But our big highlight was that haunted house for about 8 years. I don't know if we'll get back to it. We've been talking about it, but it became pretty big in the kind of local, the community. People every year began to expect it. But definitely, that was really pretty cool. Hi, how are you? Give me a second, folks. I have the keys right here. Let me even see real quick. Hey. Come here. Where are you guys gonna go? So here's my little pumpkin. See if she can say hi to everybody. Say hi. Say hi. She can't see us yet. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi, Lisa. Say hi, everybody. She's going with Mama they're going out for a little bit. Later on, we're going to a pumpkin patch. Say, what are you looking at? She's looking at all the paintings and the setup. She's going, what? Say hi. Say hola. Hi, everybody. Yes, hi. Hi. This is Elisa. She just turned 10 months a few days ago on the 25th. Turned 10 months. Last night she started drinking from a straw. Daddy just showed her a little bit, and then she started drinking from a straw. She's been drinking from a straw this morning too. I know. Okay. Say bye to everybody. Say bye-bye. Say bye. Say bye-bye. No, she's looking at my paints and everything. She's all caught up. Yeah, she starts getting all into my paintings and stuff, starts reaching out, trying to grab them, and of course, they go right into her mouth. But all right, back to the painting, just doing the little touch-ups on the background. Getting it nice and tight. But anyhow, yeah, the highlights of the past few years, up until COVID, was that haunted house for Halloween. That was just such an awesome thing. we'd have a line of people around the block. We didn't charge anything for it. We just let people come through, for us, I think it was just the fun of the whole thing was just awesome. All right, back to the teeth really quickly, and then we're going to assess. And I've got to finish up Georgie, but other than Georgie, we'll see where we are, what else we've got to do. But back to those teeth, a little bit of yellow. Back to my orange. And here we go. We cut open a pumpkin, and big old pumpkin. Cut the top, cut little leg holes, and we put her in that and took pictures of her yesterday. So in an actual little pumpkin. Sent those out to both grandmas, and they were super happy. And take her to her first pumpkin patch today. Okay. There's those wicked yellow teeth. All right. Thank you, Penny. Robin says, my husband's toes curl and I make fun of him. Oh, that's too funny. That is too funny. Why is this not scrolling down? Here we go. Yeah, it's so much fun when people get, so much more fun when people get scared, says Leilani. I saw Paranormal Activity in theaters and had my friend sitting next to me hiding behind my jacket, literally grabbing and hiding. A guy friend and a gal friend. We're going to the haunted house tonight. But 8 and up, so it's okay for my son's first. Yeah, haunted houses, all that is so much fun. He's 9. It's rated 8 and up. Cool, Leilani. He'll have fun, of course. I'm sure. If he takes after you, he's gonna have some fun. All right, let's go to Georgie. Add his little boots. I got a little tricky about the boots is my little liner brush has seen its days now. It's getting beat up. And I haven't had a chance to go over to my studio to grab get some of my liner brushes from over there. All right. I've stopped talking for a bit. I'll show you what I've got here in just a moment. I want to make sure I concentrate a little bit. Otherwise, I'm going to have to redo this. I'll have to do this again. These don't have to be fancy. They don't need a lot of details because Georgie's kind of in the dark against that really dark background. your brain fills in a lot of the details. Okay, so there's nothing fancy about this. A couple little boots, and then we just paint in all around that. So I'm also going to be adding a little bit of brown and yellow to Georgie's his coat, just to cover over some of those pencil lines, but it also creates a bit of a shadow. So back to my red. I still have some of this red. I'm going to paint around. What time do we have? 12:29. Ooh, that would be done by now. So we're almost done. Give me a little chance to get a little break in between the next session and this one. The next session is going to have a little bit of tape on the borders for those of you that are going to be doing that. I won't be demonstrating how to do that. I'm just going to have my edges already taped off. I think most of you already know how to do that. I'll talk about it at the beginning. Okay, I'm going to have to go over that again after it dries a little bit. The red, the little blood vessels around the eyes. Just a little jagged. Those are pretty straightforward. We're taking a little brown and a little bit of yellow. And back to my little liner brush. Touch of brown. And I'm going to scoop up a bit of yellow, mix those up. We don't need much. Just need this to come in here, and I'm painting I'll show you here in a sec. Just where the arms are. Maybe around the top of his head, give him a little bit of a slight shadow. But mainly it covers up those pencil lines. Okay, and I lost the red around the boots and stuff is really dark. So I'm gonna have to go over the boots again in black in just a little bit. But all right, we're almost there. Just gonna clean up my brush. I'm gonna scoop up some white. Do a few little touch-ups. See right in here. All right, everybody, what's your favorite scary movie, if you have one? So the last one, Anne-Marie, is going to be at 2 p.m. Pacific. Okay, so it's 12:34 right now, so in an hour and a half. Woo, cutting it close. I'll probably start a little bit after. I'm just adjusting where I lost his little boot to the dark red. Black outline around the nose. All right, a little bit more red around Georgie's balloon. So on the original, I think I mentioned this already, but I added a bunch of neon paints. I'm not going to do that to this one, but you can if you have any reds and oranges and yellows. This makes for a really cool painting to add that stuff on. It's going to give his balloon a little bit of a highlight there. All right, let me make a quick assessment. Let's see what we've got. I still lost Georgie's boots a little bit in that the red around this ended up getting a little too dark. I'm just going to do a couple little touch-ups there, and then I'm not going to worry too much about that. I can always fix that by lightening up the area directly around, but almost like like there's a bit of a reddish highlight around Georgie. I could do it like that to bring out the boots a bit, but not going to worry about it too much. Okay. She's getting big, and of course, really fast. Oh, there we go. I was having a hard time scrolling. The ones that keep you awake all night, huh? Okay, so there we go. I think I'm gonna call it here. Again, I need to go in there and fix up Georgie's boot, the area around Georgie's boots. But other than that, everything else is pretty creepy. Pretty much done. A few minor touch-ups, a few little things like just refinements around some of the edges and things like that. But other than that, I think it turned out pretty good. Little Georgie and his balloon and everything else. Again, as per usual, I've already mentioned that this thing needs to have a few little refinements done to it. But even if I felt that was done, I wouldn't call it done until I come back and look at it at a later time. Okay, it just makes it easier to see any discrepancies or things that I might have missed. Not really horror, says Michelle, but I love Dr. Sleep. Rose the Hat is the best villain. I don't think I've seen that. I don't know that I've heard of that. I'll have to check that out. I'll have to take a look at that. But okay, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget, we got the very last one today, a nice little simple one, cute. Our little ghost host is saying goodbye to everybody with this happy Halloween. See you next year. Peace. Okay. 2 p.m. That's about an hour and 20 minutes-ish from now. So I hope to see you guys on here. And I hope you enjoyed today's session. We are winding down this 10 days of Halloween. Hope you join me for the very last one. All right. Okay, everyone. I'll see you all very soon. Bye-bye.